Nothing like an afternoon Java. I did pretty good at keeping my caffeine intake down, but you know, sometimes it just tastes good. And I don't have any decaf coffee, so maybe I should get some decaffeines. What's up, y'all? Look, today, here's what we're going to talk about. Meal prep can be very, very frustrating. And it can take a ton of time. And it can drive you crazy. We gotta wait for some people to get on. Oh yeah, there we go. What's up, Ann Carey, Fishburne, Orminsky? Good to see you. You want to come on camera? We're going to talk about meal prep. I'm bringing you on.
Oh yes, finally somebody can come on. Normally whenever I do these things, it's like, nope, can't add person. Let's see if she'll get on. All right, well, we're waiting for Facebook to figure out if we're going to bring on Ann Carey. Meal prep doesn't have to suck, but if you are if you're just winging it, meal prep is going to take way more time, way more effort, and probably way more money. Okay, Ann Carey, we're going to give up bringing you on. Way more time, way more money, way more effort than you want to give it or are able to give it. What's up, Tracy? And that is going to lead to, that's going to set in motion like a negative feedback loop, where then you are associating meal prep as a necessity for the commitment that you made to yourself. But now meal prep is really frustrating and you don't want to do it, and you're going to find every reason, every excuse under the sun to not do it. And then that's going to sabotage the goals that you laid out for yourself. And then you're going to keep on repeating the same mistakes that got you into trouble in the first place. Like reaching for the donut and the lowest hanging fruit because it's convenient and available. That's going to sabotage you. Full disclosure, I don't believe in cheat meals at all. So a donut, provided that it doesn't have any hydrogenated vegetable oils, is really not off limits. Good luck finding a donut that is not fried in vegetable oil, though. As long as you've got a protein dominant meal, as far as I'm concerned, cookies are fair game. Yeah, that was one of when the good old Kennedy Center was open, that was like one of my absolute favorite pre-show things to go get. Was the Kennedy Center, by the way, has the best chocolate chip cookies. They are exactly on par with the fancy bakery in New York, Levan. I had one of those cookies a couple weeks ago, and I was like, tastes just like the Kennedy Center cookie. So I'd go down and I'd get, like 2 of these cookies, and then I would just get like a heaping mound of chicken from the salad bar and call it good. So that's going to be a strategy that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. So Ann Carey, Tracy, everybody else who's watching, guys, let me know if you have ever been frustrated, bamboozled, or just mad at meal prep. Anything around meal prep. You don't even have to have tried it. If it's something that you should be doing, or you think that you should be doing and you haven't done it because you're like, this is just too overwhelming, let me know. I'm chill. I'm going to drink the remainder of my dregs. All right, so let me know if you guys have been frustrated by it. What's up, Hunter? Yo, dude, I'm going to bring you on camera. Fair warning, anybody who jumps on this live can't bring Hunter on camera. You lucked out, dude. Hunter, have you ever had a frustration with meal prep? The conception of it, sticking to it, doing it in a way that is enjoyable and that you don't feel like you are sacrificing what you like about food? Those kinds of things. You run out of ideas for meals. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Yeah, that's real, Tracy. That's super real. By the way, y'all, if you are watching this live, like right now with me here, give me a hashtag live. Let me know you're watching it live. If you are watching this on a replay, Let me know that you're watching on replay with like hashtag replay. Seriously, just drop it in the comments. That'll help me get back to you and support you on whatever it is that you are looking to get done. Which right now is fixing problems around meal prep. Because once you get that dialed in, once you get that figured out and moving like a well-oiled machine, then, I mean, it's just such a straight path to success. All right, so Tracy runs out of ideas. Hunter, what about you, man? Waiting on you, Hunter. There we go. Hey, what's up, Christina Grace? How you doing? Good to see you in here. I loved your post this morning. You're a hustler. I feel like, Christina Grace, you probably don't have any problems with meal prep. I think you probably got it figured out. But if you got any questions around it, if you got some frustrations, let me know what they are. All right, so 3 things I want to talk about today. We got to understand the trade-off and the trade-offs that come when making meal prep considerations. Number 2, there's no rules. So you got to get the rules and conceptions around what you think meal prep is out of your head. You call the shots. You are the architect of your destiny. Like it's real. You are designing the simulation in which you are playing, at least in this arena. And number 3, if you are making a choice based on an imaginary outcome that you don't actually know for sure exists, you are holding yourself back. And I want to just invite you to be like, oh, wait a minute. That's anxiety and fear talking. And anxiety and fear oftentimes comes at the same point as a growth period. All right, my life is meal prep. Oh, what's up, Adam? Good to see you. All right, so Adam, does that mean that you're taking too much time with meal prep? Meal prep is taking too much time, too much brain power out of your day? Let me know. I'm going to answer all these questions at the end. I run out of ideas at times as well. Have to switch it up every couple of weeks. Sometimes it's easy, other times it's tough. Yeah, like life and discipline and systems get you through. So, Adam, if you got a specific question about meal prep, drop it down here and I'll get to it at the end. Right now, one of the things we're going to answer is it's relevant for Christina and for Tracy, running out of ideas for meals. So, personal chef and a caterer. Oh man. Well, okay, so your life is meal prep. That's awesome, man. Hey, what meals do you just go, oh shit, I don't want to make this again? And what meals are you like, I'm gonna crush this? All right, so let's dive in. Let's hit number 1. Understand the trade-offs. So there is time, there is effort, and there is cost to be associated with anything, but right now we're talking about meal prep. So the time is like, all right, well, how long is it going to take me to buy these groceries, to cook this meal, to clean up, to eat, and then to get back into the groove of whatever I was doing before? Because, it's like when you switch tasks, it takes like 30 minutes for you to get back into the flow of things. So there's also a big opportunity cost that comes there, which is like, damn, I could have been doing 30 more minutes of deep work in my flow state, but I had to eat. Okay. So you can save yourself time and save yourself effort by delegating your meal prep to a food service. So a couple clients that I've worked with have had really big success with this, and it's for a variety of reasons. It's like they don't want to spend the time, they don't want to spend the effort, and or it's not a skill that they care to cultivate. It's just not working for them. It doesn't matter. Like I said, like that's idea number 2, is that you are the architect here. You are designing your simulation. So you don't owe anything to anybody except for yourself and the future self that you're trying to realize. So you spend more time, or you spend more money, but you save time and you save effort. Okay, that's getting a service. Now, if you want to save money, you're going to spend more time, you're going to spend more effort. But there's also pros with that you don't get with the other thing. The other thing, yeah, like the menu of the service is probably going to have, it's probably going to be tasty. You know, it's a competitive market out there, so it's going to be tasty, it's going to be effective. But maybe it's not what you like. Like you really like the Cholula Chipotle hot sauce flavor. And this other company, their hot sauce just doesn't do it for you. So maybe you want to have a little bit more control. Okay. So if that's important to you, then you're going to be putting in more time and more effort. Now, maybe cooking is the thing that you like to do and you get a lot of value out of it, and it's a therapeutic thing. So maybe that's not really a huge time suck for you. Maybe taking an hour or two on a Sunday night to like really just prepare everything. It doesn't even need to take that long. Maybe that actually gives you back more time because it's like, wow, this is like a meditative time to be with myself. So that's just a thing to consider as you are considering what's going to work for you. I'm really big on establishing as many positive feedback loops as you can for everything. There's no amount of positive, there's no such thing as too much positive reinforcement. So if that's going to be giving you back more than it is costing you, great, go for it. Because like I was saying a couple of minutes ago, it's like if you are not doing something, or rather, if you have a negative feedback loop in place and then it's sabotaging you, you need to get rid of that as fast as possible so that you can break through and make progress. Okay, so you're going to take, an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is to get done how you want to get it done. That's going to be less money, more time, more effort. Third option is less effort, less time, but it might just be less sexy. It's not going to be an Instagrammable meal. But you know what? You know who doesn't eat Instagrammable meals? Gordon Ramsay. He eats like slop because he just needs fuel and he just needs to go, and he doesn't care that his food looks like sludge because it's going to taste fine, and that's not what he's trying to do. So actually I got started thinking about this week because I was walking and I was like, I had, so you see, like I put, on the story when I'm cooking up a steak. Great. Like I do that so much that it's like, it's in my routine. It doesn't cost me any brain power or anything. I teach meal prep recipes with shortcuts. I also do meals to heat for multiple families. That's cool, Adam. Okay, we're going to get to that in a second. So that like my meal prep, at least when I'm throwing up a steak, that doesn't cost me anything. But there's the other stuff that I eat that doesn't make it to the gram, and that would be the Kirkland chicken in the can. Good old Costco. That's when I just crack one of these guys open and I just dump it into a bowl and I throw some sriracha or that Cholula garlic, chipotle, whatever it is, in a bowl with some hot sauce and mix it up and just throw it on some sourdough toast. And I toast the toast while I'm scooping that up or while I'm stirring it up. So it's not sexy, but it takes me like 3 minutes to decide I want to eat the food, prepare the food, and then eat the food. Because yes, I completely inhale it. Sorry, I'm not saying grace and being like, I love this food. I'm just shoving it. Because I got other things to do. But I got to make sure that, I know for what I'm doing, I need that food. Okay, so those are the 3 options. Y'all, questions about what I'm talking about, experiences relevant to some of those, let me know where y'all are at. Those of you who are just tuning in, let me know if you have had a frustrating, bamboozling meal prep experience. Oh, that feels really good. Y'all, I haven't sat at a desk or sat for a long time in many, many months. And since I got this chair, I'm just noticing like, oh my God, just doing that. We're going to be talking a lot more about posture, especially posture for sitting in some future lives. Guys, any questions? Any of this making sense? Landing with you? Let me know. I'll swirl my coffee around. Actually get the last drops of it while I wait. If you're just tuning in, say what's up. I literally can't see who's here. Carlos Alvarez. What's up, homie? You know I'm gonna try to bring you on camera. If it gives me that option, can't bring him on camera. Guys, look, fair warning. If you pop up on here and Facebook lets me know that you are here and it says bring them on camera, I'm gonna try to bring you on camera. This show. Let's talk. Yo, Carlos, dude, have you ever been frustrated by meal prep? If yes, what was your frustration? Ooh, how many snacks do I eat per day? You know, it varies by the day. It's really not set, Christina. I guess I would just consider like a snack a meal or just a smaller meal. They're all basically constructed the same way. But let's just say I generally eat 3 to 4 times per day. Probably going to be more than that now because I just set some new goals for myself, and it's going to necessitate a little bit more than that. But I'm not really big on snacking. I'm not big on snacking just because it's a distraction, and it's often just like palate boredom. It's just like, like when you go to scroll and you're like, fuck, I wasn't even doing anything. What am I even doing on here? It's just, you just want dopamine and distraction. God, okay. Yeah, you read my mind. Yeah, it's cottage cheese and Greek yogurt all day. Most days of the week, I will just crush a whole 32-ounce thing of Greek yogurt. But let's see, favorite protein-packed snacks outside of Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. Chicken, steak, beef liver. I like taking the Elizabeth granola that my wife loves so much. She loves it, and then I see her look at the bag, and she's like, it's gone. I'm like, well, I left you a couple crumbs. I like taking that, and then I like mixing that with some protein powder. I find that to be really good. Ooh. Like tacos, I'm really big on. Yep, palate boredom. Guilty. All right, so 3 meals per day, always 2-3 smaller snacks per day right now. Always hungry. Eat bigger meals. Unless it's part of whatever you're trying to do, unless like being hungry, you're deliberately in a deficit, and to be a little bit hungry is expected. Oh, it's so good. So good. There's some things you can do. Last night I had a few guests over and didn't want to do anything complicated. See, I can't expand to there we go. But I wanted to be a good host. I bought a rotisserie chicken, ingredients in a baguette. Broke down the chicken and made a big chicken salad. Buttered the breadstick in the oven for a bit, 10 minutes tops. That's a really great, a couple of good points and ideas in there, Adam. Thank you. It's really like if you're going to go for just that quick wham bam option, but flavor is really important to you, just invest in just better ingredients. Like if you're going to feel, if eating chicken breast out of a can is going to make you feel like disgusting and less than or whatever, then just go get a whole rotisserie chicken. It might cost you more per serving, but who cares? It's a couple cents. Yeah, and keep it simple like that. That's so simple. I love that. Thank you, Adam. Okay. So those are the ideas around meal prep. Those are the 3 trade-offs. Okay, then let's just talk about this other idea that there's no rules here. Your meal prep doesn't have to be hours spent. you can do whatever you want. If you like option 3, which is just the no time, the no effort, just the chicken breast in the bowl, mix it and just go, then go for it. Like, you don't have to Instagram your food. You don't owe it to anybody. You don't have to tell the whole world that you're on a diet or making a choice. You don't owe shit to anybody, and you can do whatever you want. All right. Number 3 is just this idea that, like, well, I would like to get healthy. I'd like to invest and commit to myself, but eating healthy is so expensive. Or, then all my meals are going to be the same. I don't want to eat the same thing every day. But I really like food, and food is a treat for me. Like, I want it to taste good. Okay, well, you have literally never tried. And if you have tried, you ran into some resistance and you quit at the first sign of resistance, so you didn't get resourceful and find a way to make that work. I will tell you right now, I love food as much as anybody. Like, I'm a former fat kid. Maybe I got to do a better job at, like, showing the pictures of me growing up. But I was fat, and I ate so much food, like, every Sunday reliably, like clockwork. My brunch would be, oh my God. I would have a double order of Eggs Benedict. I would eat 6 to 10 Krispy Kreme donuts, not just the glazed ones, but like the full, like the glazed, and then like the ones with the Long Johns and everything else. I would have like a full, like up to here of just the Oregon chai mix, which is pure sugar. And then I'd pour a little bit of whole milk on there and have like 2 of those. I would have a whole bowl of frozen blueberries and like a couple sides of hash browns. I love food. I'm telling you right, and I love my food to taste good and to be savory. I'm telling you right now, it can be good and taste savory, and it doesn't have to be unhealthy. It can actually be like, have you considered the possibility, if you're talking yourself out of these things, have you considered the possibility that you might be wrong? Which is a useful question to ask yourself always in any situation. But especially as it relates to your health, your vitality, like, you can have everything else in the world, but if you don't have health and vitality, you're going to have to, it's going to come at a cost for sure. So you're stopping yourself from doing something that you just, because of an imaginary fear, because it's unknown. Totally understandable. But why don't you just try to make it work? What if you found a way? What if it was actually not true that you would have to make those sacrifices, but that it was actually easy and that you got more out of it? Isn't that worth considering? So, just being, or like, not wanting to commit to yourself in your health because you're like, oh, it's going to take up all my time. I don't have time for that. Dude, listen to yourself. What if you're wrong? And also, what the short-term gratification that you're getting, the short-term comfort that you're getting comes at the cost of long-term discomfort, delayed discomfort. So there's just, these two big ideas, one big idea, one big question. What if you're wrong? And that definitely comes at the cost of something long-term. Your short-term discount comes at a long-term cost. So it's worth considering. Y'all, let me know if this is ringing true. If you are just hopping in, we're talking about meal prep. If it's bamboozled or frustrated you, let me know. We'll talk about why. Right now, I've got one question, one main frustration that's come up that we're going to get to, and that is run out of ideas for meals. Okay, so you're running out of ideas for meals. Oh, you know what I forgot? Guys, if you are enjoying what we're talking about, I'm going to be doing less of these lives here on the public Facebook group, and I'm going to be taking this topic, similar topics, into my private Facebook community. It's totally free. It's totally awesome. It's called Beat the Sun Up. I'm going to link a little thing to it here. Actually, you know what? Let's see if I can just use technology like a real 2020er. See if I can link it underneath right now. But yeah, it's going to be a real good time, and we're going to be talking about things like this, things like meal prep strategies, ideas around it, ways to make that really efficient, but also the high energy diet. We got to be talking about that. We got to be talking about accountability, talking about discipline, because let's be real, like we all know all these things go together. So anyway, want to invite you guys to that. Gosh darn it, let me drop this here link. Okay, blah, blah, blah. There we go. All right, link is now down there in the group. Just request. I'll let you in if you give me the right answers. Nah, just be honest. Okay, so Tracy, you ran out of ideas for meals. My first question to you is, why does every meal need to be different? Second question, how many meals did you give yourself in the rotation? Third question, and these I guess are not really in order, it's just useful to know them all. What do you look for in a meal? What's your criteria for a meal? And do you have different options to fit changing criteria? You know, sometimes you're in a rush. What's your go-to going to be? Sometimes you have more time and you actually want to cook. Sometimes you are, you know, something else. What are your options there? So for me, I've got probably like a dozen. My husband is finicky. Well, I guess, yeah, and if you're cooking for two, this is a common frustration. So you got to look out for yourself first. Let him eat what he's going to eat, and then figure out how it's going to work for you. And if he wants to join, or just say, no, this is what I'm doing, so if you want to have a change, have it your way, you got to do that. But that's, you know, every relationship has a different dynamic and roles and responsibilities. So just two ideas. You know, got to look out for number one first, though. But also, you know, you could do something like, you know, have your own meal, and then whatever it is that he wants, have that in addition for him, and then you stick to your thing. But for me, yeah, I only cook and meat, and he has to figure out the rest. Hey, that could be enough just as it is. Okay, right. So if he's looking, is he looking for variety? Does he want variety in his meals? Or do you want variety in your meals? So for me, I've got like a handful of, I basically have, you know, it's kind of like you can consider it sort of like a wardrobe. You know, like if you just have some like classic timeless staples that are going to work in different seasons, then you don't have to plan out every single outfit. You just go, I'm going to take that, I'm going to take that, we're good. And then voila, you're like, I look good, I feel good. So once you understand some principles behind how to construct a meal in the way that's going to move you forward, then that gets a lot easier. You know, so for me, it's like, if I'm going to have some steak, I'm probably going to have a little bit of blue cheese with it, a little bit of, if I'm just having like my lunch, okay, bored with the same stuff, but doesn't like new things. Beef, pork, no gluten. Bored with the same stuff, but doesn't like new things. I mean, that's, those two things are conflicting. That's like, I want to change, but I don't want to work. I want to, yeah, you know. There are ways around that, though, Tracy. I think figure out, like, you know, what the limits of the bored with the doesn't like new things but gets bored with the same stuff is. You know, it's like this. Well, what are these two thresholds? And then see how much variety you can create in there. You know, like for me, it's like I'm loving eating just a ton of black Russian bread right now. It's amazing. But for the past 4 months, I've been living on sourdough. I loved sourdough. Before that, it was like tortillas, like flour tortillas. And it used to be, right now I'm kind of in the chicken thigh season. Chicken thigh and maybe flank steak. A couple months ago it was a top sirloin. Before that, tilapia. And so then you can change, even if inside of those same meals, just changing the sauce, just changing the seasoning can completely change it up. Instapot is really good. Okay, welcome to my pan. Try to plan around the meat, and then I adjust my sides to be healthier. Salad. Come on, Seymour thing. Salad, baked sweet potato. Yeah, and part of that is just a mindset issue and a expectation that it actually is sort of similar to clothing. It's like why do we have this idea that every day you need to be dressed different? You have to have a different outfit. I remember feeling that way in middle school and high school, and even early in college. I don't want to look like I'm wearing the same outfit. Not because of those clothes might be dirty. Did that guy shower? But he's not cool because he's wearing something basically similar. And it's no, dude, that's not what I'm thinking about. So another thing to consider is why are you putting this expectation on food that it has to be different? It can still be really good and really delicious, but why does it have to be different? Or why does it have to be different with such frequency? That's just another added stress that I would invite anyone for whom that feels relevant to take off, to see as one of those constraints in your simulation that aren't there, that are there that unnecessarily. Have an electronic pellet smoker. Okay. So those are a couple ideas around food monotony, meal prep monotony. And I could go on. This is one of my favorite topics. But you know what? If I'm going to go on, we're going to have this conversation in the Beat the Sun Up group because it's going to be fire. The link is up there somewhere in the comments. Guys, any other questions for me while we are here? How else can I help you? Let's keep it around meals, nutrition, efficiency. You're so very welcome, Tracy. What have I eaten today? Yeah, see, Christina, what I like to do that make sure that I don't get hungry is, I might have a meal that is higher in fat and protein and is larger earlier in the day. I might make my first meal the largest meal, or at least the densest in fat and protein, because that's going to help to keep me from getting hungry for a longer period of time. Also, Christina, how much water are you drinking? And when do you drink? Actually, yeah, Christina, around your question about snacking and frequent hunger, when do you have your first caffeine in relation to when you wake up? And how much water are you drinking? Also in relation to when you first wake up and throughout the day. And what is the quality of your sleep? I know you're a 4 o'clock hour killer, but sleep has a massive impact on leptin and ghrelin and cortisol and the very delicate, intricate systems and responses. Okay, all right. Well, she drinks a gallon. That's good. Where's mine? Oh, I guess. There you go. All right, Christina. I'm going to give you some homework, if you're open to it. Christina, can you push your espresso, your first sip of that sweet brown elixir, to an hour and a half after you wake up? And put a large chunk of that initial half gallon right when you wake up? So you're going to wake up, you're going to chug like as much of that half gallon as you can, and then you're going to wait 90 minutes and then have your first espresso. Can you try that for like 2 days and let me know if that affects, if you feel less hungry during the day? Oof. Oof. Cardio. I think that's Spanish for pain. I actually just started doing a little cardio myself. Not for any particular goal reason, but just to get me out of my comfort zone. I kind of like it. I was talking to my boy Clark last night. He does a ton of cardio. He's on like 6 miles a day for 10 years. He's a tank. Oh, Christina, let me just point something out to you. There may be a limiting belief in there somewhere. What if your workout was as good? What possibilities would it open up for you if you suffered through, if you pushed through that initial part of the workout and you created an energy and momentum without the caffeine? Now, it might open up a lot more possibilities, and then you would already be in that state, and then you add the caffeine, boom. Just a thought. But I know that, when you got routines set, they're good. It's clearly working for you. Just a thought. All right, my friends. Any other questions? Drop that. I got to get like a sales call blocker thing. God, they're just so annoying all the time. I'll be like trying to sing or like recording a there we go. It's in the comments. Or like recording a lift, or like recording singing, and it's just like, oh, that didn't record because somebody from some random telemarketing company thought that it was important. Wrong. All right, y'all. If we have no further questions, let us adjourn. And yeah, there's a trade-off. I mean, that's at the core of what we've been talking about. There's going to be a trade-off for everything. Now, that's an idea. That's an idea that could get you somewhere. Start, for sure. And then just narrow that down quarter by quarter. Look, I'm speaking from a place of having done that myself. I used to be like, first thing I needed was coffee. And then I realized what that was doing to the rest of my day. I realized that for me was creating a negative feedback loop. So it initially sucked, but now I actually love it. Now I'm like, I have a whole routine. I get up and I feel actually much more energized in the mornings. I sleep much better, noticeably better. And then it allows me to be like, it really is like, wow, I'm fully present. I'm like fully alert for this day. And now let me supercharge this with the sweet brown elixir of life. Anyway, so it was helpful for me. I hope it helps you. What time is it? I guess I could probably have some more. I'm before my hard cutoff. 2:30. All right, y'all. If this is fun and you want to do it again, join the Beat the Sun Up group. I dropped the link twice in the comments. You just got to answer a couple of questions, mostly just like, yo, are you cool enough to hang here? Are you cool enough to sit at our table? Christina, I'm expecting to see you in there. Tracy's already in there. Adam, dude, would love to have you in there. Chef Adam. As all my old friends from Otterbein will know, I am the chef. Maybe I'll share that story, how that came to be. There's cottage cheese involved. Join Beat the Sun Up group. It's going to be a good time. We're going to talk more about what we're talking about here today and just related subjects. Discipline, accountability, high energy diet, making the most of it, controlling your destiny. put in the day into your frame rather than you being pulled along by the day. All right, y'all. Y'all amazing. I love y'all. If you're watching the replay and you got questions, just drop that and I'll make sure to get back to you and help you.